What's up, guys? My name is Sean. I'm here with another episode. We are currently at Versus Gym. It's an MMA gym located in Sheungwan. And I'm here with good friends Mikey, Adrian, and Rehaan. So before we start, we usually do a shot. But these guys have fights coming up. So you have an option to do a shot or a body shot, or both. So I will start with a shot, and also I'll take a body shot.
Sweet, bro. From who?
Anyone. Anyone. You can do it.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Do I have to move out the way?
Yeah. Let's go. Woo!
Oh shit! Down the
I ate
hatch.
something already.
Down the hatch. Oh, it's just gonna be a jab to the body, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Left foot.
Easy.
Okay, guys. So I've kind of started training like boxing, I think 3 years ago, and I got into fighting. But you guys are kind of a special breed when it comes to any sport, because you have to have quite an elite mindset when it comes to fighting. When did, why fighting? What particularly interests you about fighting in itself?
I was just playing video games with a friend, playing Fight Night, if anybody remembers. It was boxing and we're like, let's try this. Like, it looks really easy, right? It's like a video game. And then we went looking for a gym, and we kind of proceeded out. But then I was like, oh shit, I still want to do it, so I found a Muay Thai gym. Initially I wanted to do boxing, but then I ended up doing Muay Thai at the ring, so shout outs to the ring.
Oh yeah, guys! Before we start, just tell us what like your martial art is, like what what sport you compete in exactly in.
Yeah. I've done some kickboxing fights, but my main focus is mixed martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
MMA.
MMA, Rehaan?
I mainly compete in Muay Thai, but I'm trying to transition into MMA.
Okay.
It's hard to get fights at the moment due to the COVID and people not wanting to fight us.
And Mikey, you're Muay Thai. Right?
Yeah, Muay Thai. I've done one MMA fight. I'm undefeated, so
There you go.
yeah, just one fight.
One and done.
So why fighting, huh? Why fighting? I think why fighting, Adrian? You tell us.
You
tell me, man.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I think I was 14 or 16 at the time, and I was watching UFC. I remember this event. It was like UFC 129, St. Pierre versus Jake Shields. And I was watching these guys compete, and it was like a mixture of the technicalness and the toughness. I fought, and if I could have just an ounce of that toughness, I think I really respect myself. So the next day I signed up for an MMA gym, and so it never looked back since.
Really? Okay. Yeah, because my reasoning for I guess doing any sort of martial arts was self-defense. I was like, if I can't really defend myself, I remember I think being threatened to be in a fight on a football field, and I got so scared because I'm thinking I'm talking all this shit, but I can't back it up. So if I get hit, I need to at least defend myself.
Did you get the foul?
Yeah, you can get the foul. So that went through my head. I was like, I need self-defense, but here's kind of a personal question. Have you guys been involved in any fights outside of the ring?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you say it on camera? Or?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, it started when I was in the first grade. Every lunchtime, me and my friend would fight each other. We'd wrestle. He would be the Red Ranger. I'd be the green.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. We
Okay.
play Power Rangers.
Okay.
You'd always beat the shit out of each other. And when you're young, you don't have much power. You don't have much so you can kind of beat the shit out of each other without getting hurt too bad. More recently, a few years ago, yeah, I got
What
jumped.
happened?
I got jumped in Lan Kwai Fong.
Did you tell me this? No, right?
I tell everybody, bro.
Oh God.
It's
What happened? Why
everybody.
was it a lot of people? Or?
no, bro. It's just some gang of people they try to instigate shit, and then obviously if you take the bait, never take the bait. I took the bait and I paid for it.
Okay, that's the thing.
It was hard to train for a couple. I still beat the shit out of them, but it was hard. The damage that I left the fight with, it took
A mental
couple weeks to recover. I couldn't touch my face properly. It would hurt. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I guess martial arts kind of instills this discipline. It's weird because a lot of other sports, growing up in Hong Kong, you have You got a lot of aggro mentality, and it shows good competitiveness, but it doesn't really show too much discipline. Like when I've come into the gym here, there's a good community here, and there is this instilled like a lot of good discipline and like respect, which I really like. And I think at a young age, if I were ever to have kids, I would put them in any sort of martial art, anything. It doesn't have to be striking, but I mean that's what I would kind of put them in. Yeah, for sure.
Because you know your ass can get beaten up. That's why it's realistic.
And I think in 2021, the last decade, we've kind of moved away from people like, oh, violence is so bad. But if you control violence, it can be almost like beneficial in a way. Because it will spread to the streets. Imagine like we go back hundreds of thousands of years, we are like primates, you know, it's in our genes to do this kind of stuff. But if you could do it in a controlled environment with good people, I think it's a positive thing.
Talking about kids, have you guys ever tried to teach kids martial arts? It's like the hardest thing ever. I know it's easy to say like, yeah, put the kids in the martial arts, but they just never listen. They're like running around the place. Like you have to like, it's like half of the session is like games, and half the session is like try to teach them something. So it's like where is the discipline?
Depends on the kid.
How old are you talking about? What's the age group?
Like 6 to 8, 6 to 10 even, you know, 6 to 11 maybe, 6 to 10. 6 to 10 is hard.
So you're saying that you prefer coaching adults?
For sure, man.
I remember when we were, you said not too long ago, a few weeks ago, when we were prepping for a fight. Prepping for a fight is like preparing for an exam. Maybe you can kind of elaborate on that. I think it's interesting for the viewers or the listeners to figure it out.
Yeah. So exam. So how I used to prepare for exams, like you do a lot of reading, and then you do like a lot of past papers, okay? And then it's kind of like that for a fight. You do a lot of like technique at first. You do a lot of running, and then the past papers are like you're sparring, right? It's like live rounds, and at the same time, it's not like you can't cram but at the same time, for an exam you can cram, right? But for fights, you can't really cram. You can't cram all your training into 1 week.
You can't get fit in like a week. I mean, you can, but like you can't get fit in 3 days.
Okay.
And like as you get close to the fight, it's like a week left. It's all about just finishing off, cutting weight, and
Staying sharp.
it's done. Pretty much your training's done. You're not gonna learn how to throw a new combo, a new kick in a week. Maybe you can, but in most cases you can't.
Plus a sense of staying sharp.
Yeah.
Like fighting is a skill set, right?
Right.
So yeah, if you're getting a guy who's been doing it for like a year, okay, versus a guy who's been doing it for like 2 months intense, that year is probably gonna, you know, the experience, the sharpness will be there. Not the crash course for this guy. Probably won't. Like you can drill 1-2, but it's gonna take a while to do it properly.
As fighters yourself, what do you think is the prime time to prep for, let's say, for example, like a 3 or 5 rounder, like competitive fight? What's the amount of time do you think, weeks-wise?
Depends on how fit you are. So if you're active, I think 4 weeks is enough. Again, for Muay Thai, I think even 3 weeks is enough. If you're fit, you're training often, you're fighting often. For MMA, a bit different because there's a lot more disciplines, right? You might need a longer time.
6, 5, 6.
Yeah, so because there's so many other things. You're doing wrestling, you're doing your striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu.
Opponent dependent as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's important to like also. It's crazy how like you want to prime at the right time or be fit at the right time. It's like instead of peaking too early,
yeah, exactly.
you want to kind of be ready for that.
No one's gonna be able to train the intensity of a fight camp for like 8 weeks. I mean, maybe 8. Okay, let's say
You're gonna
3
burn out.
months.
You're gonna burn out.
You're definitely gonna
training hard every day for 4 weeks straight.
Right.
The guys that need an 8-week camp, let's be honest, they're lazy as fuck. They don't stay in the gym. They just sit on the couch and watch TV and play video games. and then fight rolls around, and 8 weeks out they get up and they start training, you know.
Is this someone?
Whereas I'm just saying generally.
Are you putting something
Generally, right?
So you're saying like you should be like kind of fight fit all year round, but like just
It's like you should be training your skills every day, for sure. Every day you should be doing like.
Don't have to
2
go
hours.
hard every day. I mean,
Yeah, but
some technical stuff. And,
You don't need 8 weeks. Like when did we have 8 weeks ever? Something you can have 2 fights in 8 weeks. You know.
Yeah, you rarely know.
That's 2 months. Yeah.
You rarely know if you're fighting that far ahead. really happen much.
Where's your headspace? Let's say 1 week before the fight. Do you feel like, are you nervous?
I just want to fight, man.
You just
I'm
want to
just
fight?
so tired by then. I'm like
Okay.
cutting weight. I don't want to train anymore. I just
So
wanna
your
get in
body
there.
is pretty like. and
I
you-
feel like I'm ready. Like,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I still need to make the weight, cut the weight, and then fight. But like that week, I'm already sharp. I feel like I'm done. I'm ready. Like, I can rest 5 days and go fight.
Okay.
For me, it's like a mental hurricane. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fucked up so badly, and I go like, no, I'm gonna mess this guy up so bad.
Yeah.
It goes like back and forth. But okay, I figured a way for me to get just the right time.
Mhm.
I'll sort all that emotional bullshit and get clear. Like, okay, I'm gonna win this fight because you want to go in positive. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to not get so attached to it, whatever the outcome, and then you can kind of be in that flow state. I said in my previous
Right.
podcast about kind of, where you don't think that you're like everything is just happening like on like naturally, like everything's on firing on all cylinders. Like you trust your training, and then when you're like you don't overthink it, and then everything is
Just
like
go out there and have
you know,
fun. Just go
it's
out
almost like you're floating. Like oh wow, everything is like
Yeah.
But once you overthink the shot and everything,
Exactly.
nice. Yeah, I've always wondered what it takes, like mentally, as a fighter, like fight week camp, and how you are preparing for a fight.
How was your feeling the week of your fight?
Well, I felt honestly like I don't know. I just kind of went through the motions in the
Right.
sense that like I wasn't training like when it was with you guys, where I was prepping for my other fight.
Right.
It was always a little bit different, and I had a lot of even more injuries back then. But I just said I need to do this. I'm going to do it.
Right.
Like on the day, I was just so tired because it was such a late night fight, and I was like I didn't really feel too nervous. It was like the perfect amount. And then when I went in the ring, I was like, oh, this is like almost like a football match in a way, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely felt it for sure, like a roller coaster of emotions. I was like, oh shit, I don't know if I should do this, all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
dude, every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every
yeah,
time,
yeah.
bro.
I know. Sometimes you like wish like like the place gets held up by some terrorists and then they get stopped. I'm like, okay, they need to fight. Fuck it. Okay, the terrorist here. Thank you, Al Qaeda.
Yeah, like typhoon.
Yeah, meteors coming. Fuck. Okay, cancel the fight.
great.
Cancel the fight.
COVID.
I had a dream recently, man.
I would have knocked him up, but
Yeah, but ISIS came.
yeah.
Fucking ISIS. No, I had a dream recently. Like, you guys ever have this dream where like I'm going to the ring, my gloves aren't laced, I don't have my cup, and then I have to go fight.
That's
You ever
happening in
have
real
that
life,
dream?
bro.
I have that.
It's happening in real life.
No, literally, I'm going to the ring. Like in the dream, I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get. And I had the recent one was like, I was gonna go fight the day after I went out. I was like partying, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get so messed up. And then I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God.
What happened to me was,
Yeah.
they were calling my name, and then it was a 4-man tournament. So the people that just fought before me, the two Thais that fought before me,
Oh,
had
yeah,
finished
yeah.
their gloves.
Yeah.
Finished using their gloves. I was using their gloves
Yeah.
after they finished.
But they
And
didn't
then-
give you a glove yet.
No, they didn't do it. And then so they were calling my name. I was like, okay, let me just put my gloves on.
I hate it when they do that though.
So then I had to go to the loser, the guy that lost, like, hey, could I please, can I have my gloves now? Hey, are you okay, man? Can I have your gloves? He's like, yeah, it's okay, lose already. I was like, oh, sorry, man.
I feel like in that situation, I'd be like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna warm up. I'm gonna take my time. You guys wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
You can't, like, it's their fault, to be honest.
It's your like they try to put you in.
At the end of the day, they're gonna, like, how are they gonna start without you?
Yeah. They're not gonna cancel it.
What are they gonna give the guy an extra point? Like, he can start shadowboxing and then you enter late. You immediately lose the round. It's a 10-8.
But it's funny because people that organized it, like,
You throw shade at the people
no,
organizing.
like I was fighting their guy, like, at that
Okay.
time.
Yeah, no,
I found it.
remember.
I find
Is
it
it
a bit.
Ursus?
Yeah, I find it a bit suspect. Find it suspect. Like,
So, okay, this is a pretty interesting story.
Yeah,
I
go
don't know if you should be saying this, but so
don't reveal
there's
the
a
name.
4-man tournament, right? Rehaan was part.
No, it was
Okay.
Max. Max.
Okay,
the
so one of
other.
the other guys was,
Max fought him.
he didn't fight him. He fought the Thai guy.
The Thai- oh.
Okay, so there's 4 people, right? And then the cash prize is 10,000. Right?
30.
30,000.
30,000.
Anyways, it's 4-man tournament. 30,000 cash
30
prize.
G's, baby.
And then there's like 2 Thai guys, 1 South African, and then 1 of our guys. Anyways, whatever. You know, I think that they ended up the 2 Thai guys winning. I mean, like, one of them won, And then one of that South African guys, he's an MMA fighter. Last we heard, he got in some like involved in bank
Got
robbery.
shot.
And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got shot. He's dead.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
Wow.
that's it, bro. There's no other like other.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
It's
You know?
crazy, right?
Never be too.
It's a different world or what? South
Yeah, different world. Yeah, different world.
Yeah, I think we're quite safe here.
For sure,
We're
yeah.
quite blessed to be.
Just give you like passive aggression.
I'd never rob a bank here.
Robbing bank is such a hard.
It's too
It's like the
difficult.
hardest,
It's too
like,
difficult.
crime.
High risk.
It's too difficult.
Low
There's
return.
there's too much
It's cool,
technology.
though.
There's
It's
too-
cool though, right?
It's like
It's cool.
You're definitely gonna get caught. You have a 95% chance of getting
And
caught.
even
I
if you
think.
get away,
you have to
you're
bust
still gonna
out.
get caught
You're
like
wanted,
a
aren't
few
you?
days later.
It's not like GTA. You drive into
Just
those spray.
respawn. Just respawn.
Respawn.
Drive into those like garages, spray your car, and the cops don't know.
Pause the game. Pause the game.
So when is you guys? When's your next fight? You guys all lined up to fight soon?
They're fighting. So
Yeah, I might have a fight next month, MMA.
Okay.
People won't avoid me again. This guy's fighting
3
the
weeks.
tournament, Hong Kong Muay Thai B, and yeah, Mikey's.
I'm just holding down the fort.
Hold on the fort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I always like play a sport, I always play to my strength. So in football, I feel like I'm fast, like across the ball. What is your strength? Would you say in fighting? Like would you say I know for you when I spar with you, Ray, I think your strength is your body shots. I always feel like that is something that you always go to. Would you agree, or you think there's something more to it?
Yeah. My left hook to the body is like my strongest punch, personally. But at the same time, I have such long arms. I realize this. I have such long arms and long limbs. Why am I fighting at such a close range to land that body shot? I should be utilizing my push kick, my jab, my cross, my footwork. So yeah, my body shots, it's nice, but lately I've been really focusing on using my range mostly. So
Okay.
so what about you guys?
I don't think I have any like really like special technique or strength. Over time, it's kind of changed. Fighting long enough, like at the beginning, I kind of like just to scrap, and then as I turned pro and started fighting better guys, my styles kind of changed. Went from like kind of point fighting, like being passive, going push kicks, landing kicks, but then I wasn't winning any fights. And then at one point, me and Phil, like my coach, just like, okay, fuck it, we're just gonna go forward and then use hands and be super aggressive. And then it's working so far. And I don't think I have power in my hands, maybe just over time technique and smarter training that I'm starting to drop guys with my hands.
I'd say your strength is reading people. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
you do
pretty
it
good.
quite
I
well.
can read if you're a good guy or a
Yeah.
bad guy.
You can read a book.
You can read a book. Maybe yeah, I can stay cool for most of the fight.
Like calm.
Yeah. So and I think it's also because like all my fights, I know really like, especially in the beginning, I've always gone the distance. I've never finished people like early on, so I've always had like such long fights, and I got a lot of ring time.
Oh, okay.
So I guess experience. I don't know. So
Adrian?
Maximum damage, minimum damage.
Okay.
So
That's the
maximum for
style,
damage, minimum.
You,
That's how we do it. By the way, everyone, before I joined this gym, Mikey had built a reputation for having a very strong left hook. Like, all the local Hong Kong fighters would say, because Michael's Filipino, he has really good boxing.
It's like a positive
Pacquiao.
stereotype, right?
Because all Filipinos have great boxing. That's what they say. Yes, Michael is a
You
Filipino
should do the
guy.
I
act.
can clean well, so I got the sweeps. Hey, that's true though. I would sweep people pretty well.
He
so-
cleans up, bro.
There
He
you go.
cleans up in the ring.
Clean your house, clean your ring, bitch.
so where's the story going?
That's his reputation. His left hook, bro. His left hook.
Yeah,
But
broke my
that's
hand.
still Muay Thai.
So- and some guy, I'm not gonna name his name, was like, Michael is only left hook, low kick. I've heard that before as well.
That's the thing in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Like, not the best punchers.
Yeah, no, okay,
More of
okay.
technique.
Yeah, a lot, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Test people.
What would you say the standard is like in Hong Kong for fighting? I mean, I would know.
And like Muay Thai?
Yeah, I would say Muay Thai.
Like best in the world versus worst in the world.
Yeah, well, where would it level in ranking?
Like you get a few standouts, I'd say. Like guys who could definitely compete in ONE FC.
No.
No, I think you need
Which one?
this guy for sure.
I
Home
think
team,
it's,
home
I think
team, bro.
It's hard though,
It's
right?
you can't talk about the home team
Okay.
like random.
Alright. Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a few.
Only Michael, man.
I think there's a few.
Maybe Mouse.
I think there's a few actually.
Mouse.
It's just that it's here. It's like, you know, you work like a full-time job, right? And
Yeah.
it's all about connections as well.
Yeah.
And it's so cliquey here. Like it's so political. It's a lot of infighting. It doesn't develop as well. I'm tell you, man, there's like really good guys, but
I don't know, but the guys in one championship are like the best in the world, and they have like 250, 300 fights. Like,
That's crazy. Like I
Ridiculous.
always. Okay, so here's the thing. How many times do you guys fight in a year? Like
ideal or
yeah, like look on average. Let's say there's no COVID. Okay,
yeah,
like
once
yeah,
every 2 months. I try.
once every 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. I think ideal for me is like 6 a year,
6
or
years.
maybe 7.
Okay. I hear like the amount of fights that these Muay Thai fighters have in Thailand, and they're like in the late hundreds.
Because right, like when they're young, they can fight every week. They're like tiny, right, and
Oh,
they
wow.
don't
They
take
don't
as much
take-
damage.
yeah.
it's like me and the Power Ranger kid. Like, never took any damage. Remember at lunchtime?
Yeah.
Same
Okay.
thing for the Thai kids. It's like they're. It's like
Some guys count their sparring sessions as a fight.
Did we have one of those?
I don't know. I don't think so.
no,
200.
we heard stories.
I
Yeah.
heard stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why they can rack up like 300 or 200.
Rack it up.
And I like, what's your do you guys usually stay in like injury free throughout like the year, or do you just get like
Yeah,
a few
like-
knocks and stuff,
Yeah, you get stupid injuries here and there, like your ankle, your knee, shoulder.
but not like collateral like heavy like damage? Like you hear in rugby or even football, like you hear like I swear more injuries with knees, ankles, shoulders in like sports that you're colliding at a really fast speed.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's full contact. You're running.
Bruised
every time.
Eagle.
Yeah.
Bruised Eagle.
Yeah. You get that here too. You get
My
bruised
ego,
egos,
my ego
yeah.
hurts.
Crying,
time, bro.
crying in the shower. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's actually quite controlled, to be honest. Like the amount of like physical contact and like kicking, punching. As long as you go with somebody, you're familiar with their timing, their speed, so you can go hard and like
Come unscathed.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Okay, I wanted to touch upon the topic because I've seen this a lot in MMA recently, like calf kicks.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it such a new thing, or has it been around for ages and people?
It's been around. It's been around.
It's
It's
been
like Benson
around, but it's
Henderson, right?
Trending.
It's trending now. Yeah.
It's trending.
Yeah.
In MMA, right, the stance is more of a hybrid boxing stance. So your stance is a little wider, so it's more difficult to check kicks. Whereas in Muay Thai, people are generally lighter on their front foot. So if someone kicks my calf, I just have to turn my shin and lift my leg up like that to check it. Which is why the calf kick in MMA is so effective, because people like Conor McGregor, right, they stand with a very bladed stance. Their left leg is very much in front of their right leg, right? And they're very heavy on the front leg as well. That's why it's easy to get caught with a calf kick in MMA.
Coupled by the fact that not many people do it in training, so it's less conditioned, say, to fight. Everyone's used to taking those kicks.
Okay.
I think that's why it's quite popular.
I guess the calf is such a tender muscle, also that if you kick it a few, like
So
even
it's smaller muscle.
small muscle, so it can just cramp up and then screw
You
the
need it to
thing.
move around as well.
But it's
You're
not
always
even,
on your
it's
toes,
not even
right?
the calf that takes the impact. It's like a nerve.
Well, it
Yeah.
runs along the tibias here, right? So it's quite like nervy.
Yes.
The shin bone's here and then here, and that's quite. I'm sorry, the fibula, my mistake. So tibia fibula, that is super nervy. It's not the nicest. You have a lot of novice fighters that come in here and stuff like that, and they like headhunt, like myself. What like the importance of like body shots? I didn't realize how effective it is, because it's more like a slow kind of dry, like it kind of kills the opponent off. Do you use that in your fights a lot, or?
I mean, there's this thing, right? Like, you have to do big power shot to the head,
Mm-hmm.
and then take it, like, it's nothing, right? You do that same punch to the body, they're not bracing time that can shut someone down.
Yeah, body shots hurt. Knees to the body, kicks to the body. Like
Check your soul out.
Yeah, in Muay Thai, body shots are so common. Like
Yeah.
most shots are to the body. Most kicks are to the body. Most knees are to the body.
Yeah, man. Like a knee to the stomach. It's like
And every time you take a shot to the body, you're inhaling like that.
Yeah.
And it
The
takes
worst
a lot
is
out
like
of
you get your like air knocked out of you, and then it's like it's fucking scary because it's like you have no fuel, and the guy's still coming. You're still awake to take more beating. If you get dropped, it's like okay, I'm drunk, and then you fall down, and then you're like kind of like 3 shots of tequila in trying to fight.
3 shots.
It's still okay, but like it hurts. It's like really like bad stomach ache where like you can't breathe as well.
Yeah, it's quite crazy. If you know the anatomy quite well, you can hit at certain points that would just shut off certain points of your body.
Like a liver shot.
the death touch.
Huh?
Like
The
Bruce-
death
Punch
touch.
to the heart.
The guy's out, you punch him again. It's like wakes up.
I want to know your thoughts. What's the most enjoyable part about fighting for you guys?
Winning.
Winning.
Winning?
bro.
Yeah.
Winning.
Winning.
Yeah.
100%.
Losing sucks, man.
Losing sucks nuts, bro. Donkey nuts.
No, because it like it affirms your skill set, right? I mean, obviously it depends on how you went through it. If like you kind of knew, like it was kind of like a close fight. It's not such a good. Like when you win, you knew you win. You dominated the guy, you know, because like you spend like years and years training, months preparation, and then people only see 9 minutes or 6 minutes of you, and they can judge you on that 6 minutes or whatever 9 minutes.
What do
Well,
you do MMA? Or do
and
you
then
get knocked
yeah,
out?
that's it, right? And when you win, everybody's like, it's great, whatever. And then when you lose, it's like only your real friends actually stay.
But that's the thing. I hated how like casuals who've never really been or trained in the sport will have these opinions, and it's not nice on the fighter. It's not nice on the
Yeah.
athlete itself because
that's part of it, though.
It is. It
You
is.
have to like
It is.
forget those guys.
Yeah.
That's the same with life. Right?
Yeah.
They see someone doing well.
Yeah, they always kind of like, hey man, like, you know, I take photo with you. You lost, you're like, I'm not gonna get associated with this guy. They're okay.
That guy's probably sad himself. So last question: do you think you could beat Jake Paul?
No, I don't think so, bro. In
He's
boxing,
big, right?
He's a
in
big
boxing,
guy. If he was at your
He's-
weight class,
He's
Boxing.
legit. Oh,
if
yeah.
let's say he was down to your weight class
In boxing.
just straight boxing.
Yeah,
My
bro.
way.
Yeah, let's say he
Oh.
was.
all fucking day, bro. All
Yeah.
fucking day.
Okay.
Every day.
Yeah,
All fucking day.
But the fact that he's like.
he's very big, right?
I'll find him in the forest.
It's just like hunt him.
No, I mean where he was fucking around. Right?
No, that's his brother.
That's Logan.
I'll find them both in the forest.
I think Jake is actually a lot better than Logan.
Yeah, he looks.
I think Logan's got too much muscle, and it sort of wears him down a bit. And Logan's like, I think tries to be too flashy, whereas Jake has got like dynamite in his right hand. You know, he punches really hard.
So, what are your thoughts? Do you think he'll beat Woodley, or do you think Woodley will beat him in the next fight?
I don't know, man.
I think Woodley.
You think Woodley?
Woodley can.
I don't know.
Woodley
I don't
can.
know.
Woodley
Depends-
doesn't strike though.
Depends.
Woodley can
He
hit.
he can hit, right? He's
I
pretty
mean, he's got
much
experience,
he's
obviously.
pretty much Jake. He's got the same tactic as Jake Paul, like right hand. You know.
So who lands
Yeah,
it
he's
first,
small.
right?
but like Woodley doesn't. He doesn't throw a lot of combinations a lot in fights. He has a habit of like moving back and catching people coming in. So
He did it with
if-
Darren Till, right? I saw that.
He did it with Darren Till. He's done it with so many guys.
Don't have Dong Yong Kim.
Yeah, Dong Hyun Kim. He's done it with so Woodley.
Those are good guys too.
He backs up against the cage,
Yeah.
gets people to swing at him, and then clocks them. But if Jake Paul's smart and he keeps his distance and uses range, which I don't think he is smart at all.
He's got a smart team.
Yeah, he's got good coaches and shit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Be
man.
interesting.
It's a good fight. Obviously, Jake Paul's not a slouch. No, he trains his ass off.
I wonder how much money Tyrone Woodley's making money. Like,
Quite a bit, I'm sure.
Tyler
Sure.
really doesn't need the money anyway. He's rich as well.
Yeah,
Fucking
but
rich. Even UFC champion for like a few years, you make a lot of money.
cool, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. I wish you guys all the best for your next fight.
Thank
And
you, Sean.
I'll
Thank you for
be
having us.
coming around soon.
alright, man. Nice.
Cool. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
bro.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Done.